Greetings, gamer guys and gals, and welcome to part 2 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 5 Thracia 776. And in this episode, we're going to be clearing out this entire chapter, well, hopefully. And let's go ahead and start out with Ocean. What's interesting here is that this unit is a level 10, whereas every other unit in this chapter is level 1 besides the boss. The boss is level 5. I do want to say that the reason why this guy is level 10 is so that when Ocean defeats him, he gets a pretty good chunk of experience points, because Ocean is going to be far away from the combat for basically the majority of this chapter. Well, all of this chapter. I'm not even going to bother moving him if I'm being honest. Let's go ahead and take you down. Wow. Missing everywhere. That's kind of wild. Alright, so hopefully we actually hit here. That kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into my strategy, but we can work with it. Thracia is one of those games you have to be kind of patient with. You have to understand that this is an old school game. There is no 2RN in this game either. What you see is what you get. Your hit rates are your hit rates. I actually prefer that. Now, when you capture, something I did not really mention in the previous episode because we just had too much to talk about, you have all of your combative stats except for luck and HP. And if you win in the fight against the enemy, you force rescue them. Now, the best units to do this are mounted units, because mounted units are treated as having 20 constitution while capturing and rescuing. You must have higher constitution than the enemy in order to capture. So that's pretty interesting. Also, if the unit you are capturing has half your constitution or more, you will lose your movement stat after capturing. In fact, you'll lose half your movement. So Finn would go down to 4 here. We're going to go ahead and capture this guy because it just makes sense. We're going to have Avel clean up a bit because Halvin missed 284s. Wild. And we can go ahead and finish him off. We don't want him sticking around and doing damage to either Leaf or Halvin, so that's the reason why I decided to finish him off. And if you have no units left to move, all you have to do is press the R button, and you're immediately taken to the menu and to the end. And all you have to do is press A. That's why I do not turn auto end on. There's just no point, in my opinion. Yes, this will means that Finn takes a bit more damage than I would like him to, but oh well. We're also going to take a turn longer to get over to where we need to. It should not be a significant problem. And as you saw, Ocean got his first Wrath crit right there, and his first level up. Very nice. I did not comment on Leaf's first level up, but I appreciated it. It didn't involve strength, but it was good while it was. Oh wow, that's a pretty fantastic level up, Finn. Papa, the fighting started already.
Ain't no good way to go about this damned battle. Don't matter how good Avel is, there's only one of her and over a dozen of them. We need to hurry.
Oh, for crying out loud, not again.
And we have 3 new units to talk about. We will get to them momentarily. So let's go ahead and trade. We can take off of the monster soldier that we force rescued, i.e. captured, his javelin and his vulnerary, and give them over to Finn. We can even take and release. I don't actually know if I want to do this right yet. I think what we actually want to do here is attack this guy. It's unfortunate that I have taken him. This is obviously not how the plan was supposed to go, because the game's just being wild today. Alright, so we can finish off this monster soldier. I don't want Leaf to get this much experience points right now, but as I said, plans kind of changed, very unfortunately. Alright, so we're going to move forward, and we're actually going to attack this javelin user with our Brave Lance Fin. And then we're going to move him up 1 so that he can block the other soldier and take him out next turn. And we're going to visit this village with Ocean.
You pulling your weight in the free blades, boy? Last thing Avel needs is to babysit you. We're risking life and limb to protect the village, and you're giving me a lecture? You've got a strange sense of gratitude, old man. Not even the Empire knocking down our front door can stop that foul mouth of yours, I see. Well, no point dragging this out. Here, this is what you came for, right? For once, you read my mind. When a fight breaks out, I just feel off without this my axe at my side. Which don't explain why you forget it at home half the damn time. Hey, I came here for the axe, not to get chewed out. If that's all you wanted, then get going. Go on now, don't keep the commander waiting on you. You don't need to tell me twice.
And he gets the Vouge. So this weapon right here is literally the reason why Ocean is top 5 best combat units in this game. It's not just because his follow-up critical modifier, it's not just because of Wrath, it's a combination of all these things. He is a crit machine, a preferential axe with 80 hit, 10 might, 30 crit, 1-2 range, 9 weight, doesn't even slow him down. It is a killer axe on steroids that can be thrown. And it's awesome. So that pretty much cements Ocean as one of the best combat units in this game. Okay, we're going to take and release as we need to. And we're going to go ahead and talk about our new 3 units. So first and foremost, we have Dagdar, level 6 pre-promoted warrior with pretty exceptional bases. Only a follow-up critical modifier of 1. And very terrible growth rates. 15% HP, 10% strength, 5% magic, 10% skill, 10% speed, 30% luck, 10% defense, 5% con, and 1% movement. His bases, just like Avel's bases, will carry him through pretty well the rest of this game. You do not have to look at him and go, man, why doesn't he have good growths? And if you don't like his good growths, you can change them later on in the game. We shall see exactly how you're capable of doing that relatively soon. Not right at this moment, but relatively soon. His growths are terrible, but typically when I play using him, I typically just want him to grow in luck anyway, because his luck is abysmal. Now, he only has an actual dodge of 1, but he is getting a non-mutual support from Tanya. So Tanya does not receive this support back from him. That's his daughter. It's like he's the big fatherly figure who wants to protect his daughter. So therefore he's got that strength about him, that support about him, because he wants to protect her. Whereas she's, the young daughter, doesn't really want to be around old dad, something like that. So that's the reason why their support is not mutual. It's most of the supports in this game are based on story reasons as to why they exist. And that's pretty well the reason why that's the case. Now, Dagdar has 1 Vigor Star, so it does have that 5% chance to move again, and 7 movement, which is pretty good, and A rank in axes, and unfortunately an E rank in bows. You would think that's terrible, however, he doesn't really need anything better than an iron bow to do what he needs to do with it, because in this game, hand axes are terrible. I do plan on giving this hand axe over to Halvin, so that Halvin has a ranged weapon, just like Ocean has a ranged weapon now. But you saw, Ocean's has 80 hit, compared to this having 45. So, Realistically, you're never going to see this used in the early game. It's very terrible. I typically only give it to Halvin for a just-in-case scenario. However, that being said, he does make pretty good use of bows because he is a warrior, and Halvin doesn't get anything other than hand axes at this time, so it's good to give him that. Dagdar also comes with his own skill, a cost. If users' attack speed and HP are higher than the enemy's, adds 1 round of combat. So this means that if Dagdar typically doubles in a regular round of combat, as long as he has higher attack speed and HP, he's going to get to attack again. Now this adding 1 round of combat means the enemy gets to attack you again, but you also get to attack your 2 times again if you doubled. So with a brave weapon, for instance, Dagdar could attack up to 8 times in a single round of combat, which is super wild. A cost is very powerful, but it's also like a double-edged sword because it works on enemy phase too. The enemies will attack Dagdar, like siege tomes and ballista even, and if he has higher HP and higher speed, which he is going to, than almost all of them, he's going to get hit twice by those things, which can leave him pretty well vulnerable. Luckily for us, Dagdar is pretty well defensive and has a very high base HP, one of the highest base HPs in the entire game, in fact, and we are playing with him on Chapter 1. So he's pretty useful in that matter. We're going to move him forward, and then we're going to talk about Tanya. So Tanya is an archer. Level 1. And archers in this game are not as bad as they are in most other entries of the series. And there's 2 reasons why that is. For one, archers actually get a bonus to their experience points growth. So it's somewhere like 20 to 25% extra, and this is not even including Paragon mode, so she's getting a bonus on top of that as well. So she will grow pretty reliably quicker than any of your other units. And there are chapters that specifically allow your archer and 1-2 range or 2 range units to truly shine. So there are some redeeming qualities to having an archer. However, she's still an archer. Not all that fantastic. Now, she does have a follow-up critical modifier of 2, which is pretty decent, especially if she gets something like a killer bow. And, you know, those have 30 crit, so she would have 60 crit on her follow-up attack. She is very speedy. Very speedy. Her growth rates are fantastic. 60% HP, 35% strength, 15% magic, 55% skill, 70% speed, 60% luck, 15% defense, 5% con, and 2% movement. Now, she has pretty low magic and defense growths, not the lowest in the game, obviously, but they're pretty low, so she's not going to have a lot of magic to defend against magic attacks, or defense to defend against regular attacks. What she will have a lot of is speed and luck, so she's going to have a lot of avoid at some point. She's going to be a dodge tank of sorts. And considering that she already has half the cap of speed in this game, it's kind of wild how good her bases are. It's just unfortunate that she is stuck as an archer. Now, when she promotes to a sniper, she will get +1 movement, so she'll have 7. She has no vigor stars or authority stars to speak of, but where I think she is most hurt is actually her weapon rank. I personally believe that she should have started with D, because archers are very much more difficult to rank up in their weapon levels. Every time you attack with a weapon, it gives you +1 to your weapon level rank. So that means she's going to have to attack 40 times before she's even at a D rank. I don't really like this. I'm glad she has at least something beyond E, so she has that 10 there, but it's not really all that great. She also doesn't have any skills, and I'm fairly certain snipers don't get any skills upon promotion, which is unfortunate. So you have to give her skills later on of your limited manuals that you get in this game if you want to give her one. We're going to go ahead and move her forward as well, and then talk about Marty, the quintessential joke character in this game, to most people's opinions, but I actually don't believe that about him. Marty does what he does very well. Yes, he has 0 magic, skill, and speed, and only a follow-up critical modifier of 1, but he does what he needs to pretty well. in the early game and even in the late game if you promote him. He's a brigand. He's the only brigand in this map, and we get him. We get to use the brigand in this map. That's awesome. So we're fighting a bunch of Imperial soldiers and no brigands, no pirates, no bandits. We get the bandit. That's pretty cool. Now, he has very lopsided growths. 90% HP, only 15% strength, 5% magic, 10% skill, 15% speed, 50% luck, 40% defense, 75% con, and 2% movement. Alright, so Marty is basically a pack mule in the early game who is capable of doing some chip damage if you need him to, who also is really good at helping with capturing. He's not really that great at capturing himself. He can do it if you really need him to, but he's not really great at capturing himself. What he's great at is taking units off of units who have captured. And he's great at taking their items and other things of that nature and helping with that. And, of course, the chip damage. Now, what's crazy is he actually promotes to the same class as Dagdar, Warrior. And the Warrior's promotion gains is one of the best in the game. So his stats are kind of a little bit deceptive here. He actually gets quite a buff to all of his stats upon promotion. Quite a buff. And he becomes relatively competent in combat. He's one of the only characters in this game who has a chance at getting max HP, which is also kind of wild. So there are some uses for him. It's just you have to play to his strengths. Every character in Thracia has redeeming qualities to him. Every character. Now, he doesn't have a Vigor Star or Authority Stars, and he will get that +1 movement, so that's nice. But he doesn't really need much more concerning axe rank. He's already at D +20, so he's pretty well there where he needs to be, the benchmark for axes, let alone the fact that he will get a whole nother rank just like everybody else does upon promotion in their primary weapons. So right now, if he was promoted literally right now, he would have C +20. Which is pretty good. And then E rank bows, you know, for reliable range damage, bows are pretty good. Aside from that, that's really all we have to talk about concerning characters, so let's go ahead and continue on with the chapter, shall we? We've got plenty to do before we are finished up here. Especially because the game decided to put me a little bit back. Good job, Finn. Taking them out. Alright, so Leaf should not be doubled here, but if he is, we're going to probably have to reset. Alright, he's not doubled. For sake of not wanting to lose Leaf, we're going to go ahead and heal up with the Light Brand. We're also going to go right here and attack. We don't want any of these guys. I probably did not need to heal with the Light Brand, but just in case. Don't want any of these guys making a nuisance for Leaf. We might actually be able to KO this guy with Halvin, which would be far and away better. And yes, we can if we hit both. Okay, well, he crit, so that's pretty darn good. Thank you, Halvin. Redeeming yourself for the early game debacle, I suppose. And then we can move right here. Ocean can stay. Marty can go here. We're going to put Tanya there, and then we're going to use Dagdar to actually capture this guy. We might... Well, no, we're not even going to capture this guy. That's kind of really unfortunate. No, we don't have enough attack speed to double here. You need, I believe, 4 attack speed higher to double. Ah, that's unfortunate. We will definitely attempt to capture him next turn, but it's going to be rough, especially considering that this guy is going to most likely heal up. I shouldn't have done that. Yep, he healed up. That's a waste of a vulnerary use. We were going to take that. But it's okay. It's okay. Things happen. Ah, Finn saving Brave Lance uses. You might think I'm kind of crazy that I'm using a preferential weapon pretty willy-nilly right now. But the fact of the matter is that it's not actually that big a deal. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and capture here. So not only do we want a javelin, but we also want a short lance. The short lance is not for Finn. The short lance is going to be for a character later on. However, it is nice to have. And then we are also going to use the flame sword here on the boss. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and check him out for a second. So this is Wiseman. He has some pretty interesting stats here. Nothing too great or to write home about. He has no follow-up critical modifier, no skills, and he has 11 defense. So on a gate or a throne in this game, you get plus 10 defense and plus 30% avoid. This man has 21 defense right now on this throne or on this gate. He is not at all something you can deal with, someone you can deal with, without magic attacks or criticals. So we're going to go ahead and deal with him. Do you fools realize what you're doing? If I die, so do the women we took. I think we realize just fine and good what we're doing.
Damn, you'll live to regret this, all of you.
Goodbye, Wiseman. I don't think we're going to regret it. Thank you for the level up on Avel. About the only time you're going to see her level up in the early game is on bosses. Alright, so let's go ahead and visit this house here.
Big brother, I've got something real special for you. You can use this to keep yourself safe, right?
An axe? Where in the world did you get such a fine weapon?
Darndest thing! I was walking past the lake up on the mountain when this strange old crone just floated out of the water. She gave it to me, then vanished quick as you can blink. I've been keeping it for you and taking real good care of it. Now go put it to use and make me proud.
And we get the Brave Axe. So this is the benchmark that we're talking about, D rank. It's a 70 hit, 14 might, 0 crit, 1 range, 12 weight, double attacking axe. This is awesome. We get it in the first chapter, and it goes very well with Vantage. So Halvin using the Brave Axe, basically, he's going to attack first on all one range combat fights, and he's going to get 2 attacks in before the enemy gets even 1. So that's the reason why that really synergizes well with his play style. However, we're not going to be keeping that on him. Let's go ahead and trade and give that short lance to Finn. We're also going to take and visit.
Those Imperial dogs took Dame Melita and Lady Nana, just snatched them up right like they was cattle. You're not gonna let them get away with that, are you? If you're fixing to fight the Empire, take this with you. This hair ring's enchanted with some spell or another. But don't just wear it on your finger like some common bauble. You got to actually use it for it to do any good.
I think that tongue-in-cheek reference that she was just giving us there about you actually having to use it is because in genealogy, you don't use rings. You keep them on your person, and they give the stat buffs, and you can give them to other people, and they're not limited use items. So I believe that the reason why the stat buffing items in this game are so good, and you're going to see, they are really good, especially because our stat caps are low, is because they're one use. Unlike in genealogy, where they're just static buffs that you can give to anyone upon managing them on their inventory. So this increases HP by 7. We're going to be giving that to Leaf right away. Alright, so we can do 5 times 2. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack right here. And then let him attack Tanya again, and then we're going to try to capture him again. Why did he use a vulnerary there? He wasn't at below half health. Oh my gosh, this is going to be wild, isn't it? Alright, so we're going to have to bring out the Brave Axe already. You can have the Hand Axe, and then we're going to go ahead and just wait a little bit longer because we need a couple of houses to be visited, as well as some stuff to finish up. Oh my good gravy. Alright, well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't really matter, honestly. Alright. Tanya doing a decent job of chipping this guy. Would have been very fantastic had we actually had captured this guy already. But as you can see, the Brave Axe is much more accurate. Plus, we would have attacked 4 times there, so that's nice. Very nice, in fact. We can now visit this village. Y'all made it back. What a relief. But look, there's no Fianna Freeblades without Fianna, right? So don't just stop with them pirates. Drive the Empire from our village, too. Not to imply that I ain't grateful, of course. Take this with you. Use it if you get scraped up. We don't have much in the way of medicine, but it's the least we can do after everything the commander's done for us. A vulnerary. We can trade. And give Dagdar that vulnerary. We're actually going to keep that vulnerary on take and then release. We're going to keep that vulnerary on Halvin. And we can trade the life ring. And use the life ring. So now we have 29 HP with Leaf, which is fantastic. We have one more village to visit, which is truly unfortunate. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Weapons can be mighty expensive, can't they? Most folk here gotta make do by nicking supplies from Imperial troops. It's awful risky, but if you can capture an enemy alive, you get to help yourself to their stuff. Matter of fact, I got the drop on an Imperial soldier myself. Heard him snoring from 3 houses away, so I took me a souvenir. Not that it'll do me much good, though. Probably better off in your hands, I reckon. And hey, if you don't need it, you can always just hawk it for something you do need. Alright, so we can go ahead and let the pack mule take that iron sword. So, one thing that's very interesting about this chapter is that there is a vendor here. He does sell vulneraries, and you can sell things like the iron sword. Iron sword, well, most weapons in this game actually sell for quite a lot more than you would think, especially given, you know, being used to any of the other Fire Emblem games in the series. And the reason why that is because, again, you're not given any kind of money in this game whatsoever at all. There is no time in this game where somebody just says, hey, here's 5,000 gold or 10,000 gold, or you're doing a great job, or, you know, here's 50,000 gold like Path of Radiance. There's nothing like that in this game. You have to make all your own money by capturing, stealing, selling, and visiting the arena. That's why we will be visiting the arena quite a bit in this Let's Play. However, with all that being said, I do want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.